Greetings colleagues, Michael Siberian here, and I wanted to show you a quick video on how to configure Respondus Lockdoown Browser to allow students to access their electronic textbook. So the first thing you want to do is to make sure in your navigation that Lockdown Browser is enabled, and then if you haven't, you enable it and you go down and you save. After you've done that, you need to go to your Lockdown Browser settings, and I've created an assignment called the Troubleshooter. And I'm going to go to that assignment first, and then I'm going to configure it in Lockdown Browser. So I put this at the top so that I can just easily do this. And so what I did was I grabbed the, when you import the test configurations, that's the NCIE Norton Ebook configure button for your course, and they are textbook specific, so you'll need to do a different one for each textbook, but it's not course specific. And then I will just name it. So I called this Test 2 module because I found out the hard way that the Test 1 module didn't have the ebook configuration working. So first, let me go on ahead and show you the Respondus Troubleshooter. What the Respondus Troubleshooter is, it's something I'm going to let them have, and they have to be in Lockdown Browser, and it requires them, it's available from the start of term all the way to the end of the course. It's graded, but they can do it many times. And the reason it's graded is so I can actually see that they've done it. If you leave it ungraded, you don't get to see if they've actually done it. And it is one question. It is, which statement best describes how you access the course? Okay. Now that I've got my troubleshooter, I'm going to go to my Lockdown Browser command console. It will configure for this my shell course, but you have to get into that every time. And so right now, the Respondus, all your quizzes will show up. In this case, the Respondus Troubleshooter shows up. I go to my settings. For this one, I actually created an access code called Trouble. The purpose of that was both if you had a student who had Respondus Lockdown, but didn't have a webcam, they could at least get through the orientation, answer the question, then you find out, oh, this kid doesn't have a webcam, they need to go to a proctored setting. And also for my own troubleshooting, I don't want to have to go through all the settings where they spot my face and I show the ID, and it's really annoying. So I've got it require a Lockdown Browser for the exam. I made a password, and then I'm going to go to the advanced settings. So in the advanced settings, I have the ncia.www.norton.com. That will be sufficient for any Norton product, whether it's the phone or text, no matter if it's 6th edition, 7th edition, volume 1, volume 2, all the same. And then also you allow nerd.www.norton.com. So yeah, NCIA is what they use for you to access the textbook, and then nerd is the one that the individual chapters are on. I actually found that out the hard way. So you're going to need both of those servers. And the way you allow, it's in the advanced settings, and you allow access to specific websites. Okay. You even have more advanced settings, allow it to be in a proctored lab. Those you can get. And enable a show your work step. So for my class, I'm going to let them use handwritten notes as well. They just show it to the screen at the end. So save and close. Now we're going to go back to the modules. And this is where life is going to be a little bit more challenging. In a moment, I'm going to have to turn off this camera and switch to Respondus. And I will record the steps on the user. So I'm going to publish this real quick. So this would allow them to access the troubleshooter and webcam. The other thing that I have in the troubleshooter program is, let's see. Here we go. I put in the troubleshooter ebook the link to the ebook, and actually I'm going to edit that because I want this one to be volume 1, because this is a History 1301 course. make this volume 1, make this volume 1. Okay, so I've got a link to the ebook to make sure that this is going to work, and I'm going to run the troubleshooter. You would want in a test to also have a link to the ebook if you're going to make it open book. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to access it. So I'm going to close this up, and I am going to shoot another video on what it looks like on the student side using Respondus. Okay, so here we are in Respondus Lockdown. We've logged into Canvas using our Alamo College's account, and I'm currently running in Student View to simulate the experience of a student. So before the student can access the test, if they're going to use the ebook, they need to actually configure the ebook. So one of the things that Respondus does is it clears your cache, and so when they're on their normal computer, the cache tells Norton, hey, this is this student who has this tied ebook account. They don't have access to that. So unless you have the student configure the ebook in Respondus before taking the test, the Respondus will take them to the textbook login screen, which will deny them access to the textbook. So what you want to do is you want to have your ebook configuration before the test in the same module, and they have to be in Respondus beforehand. So you're going to click on Respondus configuration, ebook, and so this will ebook configuration Respondus in a new window. Click on that. It's going to ask you to read and accept the terms. This is because I haven't accessed the book in this course shell. Note to students. Okay, continue. So here's our volume 1. It's connected to the LMS. And so that's fine. We can close that. Then we go next. Then we go to our Respondus troubleshooter, which again is going to behave the same way as a test. So then we take the survey or take the test. And it's asking us for either the camera or the access code. In my case, I'm going to use the access code, which, since this is a troubleshooter, I don't care if y'all record it. And so now we're in the test. Now we're going to double check to make sure we have access to the ebook. So when I click on this, I now have access to the ebook. I'm going to just pick a random chapter, chapter 6. And it takes me to that chapter, and it will transfer all of my notes, all of my accesses, all of the things I needed to do, and so now I have access to the textbook. And so for both students and for faculty, I hope this has been a useful video. And so to get back to my test or quiz, I just toggle, in there. Hang on, I can even open that again. So now I've got 3 tabs open, and that's fine. This is the tab for the table of contents, which is the NCIA. And then this is the nerd.ww Norton. And as you can see, I've got my Canvas assigned username right here. And so then I can proceed through. In this case, I'm using my personal device with Proctor code, and I will make arrangements, and then I submit. And then I'm done with the survey. And so once I've done that, I can exit Respondus.